Huge exciting news this Sunday evening about Dogecoin as three major announcements are made. One about a new system that allow you to put your Dogecoin in their accounts and get interest bearing on an annualized basis that's approved across 50 states. I have the incredible breaking news on that. Then breaking news about Dogecoin from Elon Musk as SpaceX agrees to take Dogecoin as a down payment for their next shuttle launch, and it will be named after the cryptocurrency. And finally, a shocking, great story tonight, as one major analyst says that Bitcoin could go to $250,000 in less than 5 years. I have all the incredible great news tonight here on LALATE. Let's get to the details and let's go right into the screen on what's going on with Dogecoin today. It's been a full day across the board, and I'm really excited for you about what has been happening on Dogecoin. What the day started with Dogecoin doing much of what people did not expect, and that is great news. Yesterday, Dogecoin, of course, traded down in advance of Elon Musk appearing on Saturday Night Live. Most people thought it was going to trade down before his appearance on Saturday Night Live, and most people thought that at least one or two whales would come in, get out of their position, and then this position would fall generally across the board. But the fall did not happen. Some naysayers were saying that Doge was going to fall to 30 cents, 40 cents, stay down there much of Sunday, but it didn't. Earlier this morning on Before Sunrise, I went on live with you, and I show how Doge traded between the time in which I went live in a 30-minute broadcast from about 48 cents all the way up to 50 cents. Tonight, it's passing over 56 cents at the time of this recording, which was made shortly after 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. This is the current chart for Doge right now at the time of this recording. It shows an impressive run today, and it's great for a series of reasons and a series of resistance levels. First, let's talk about the Doge transactions. Let's talk about the Dogecoin activity today, and then we're going to go to those three major breaking news in the crypto space tonight. First, let's look at this chart. You're currently looking at the 1 minute chart, but let's pull out to the the longer chart. You see how the realm of activity was of no surprise to millions of Americans, that it traded up and then took its pull back. But this is the surprise right here, is that ultimately by no less than Sunday early morning here in Los Angeles, Doge was pulling up very strongly. It was pulling up very strongly. And that we saw these numbers coming in the 40-cent range shortly before sunrise here on the West Coast. You now see the level of improvement for Doge right now. Market cap has been impressive, but not as impressive as yesterday. Ultimately, when you're looking at the trading position, you need to consider market cap, but it's not the end-all and be-all. The market cap still keeps Doge at number 4 position behind Binance Coin. Binance, of course, is up 3% today at 102 compared to Doge, which is 66 currently. They were in a realm of nearly 7 billion yesterday. That realm has now been expanded further out. Cardona is currently in the number 5 position, and it's at 58, so it is pulling in relatively close to Doge as well. But when we go back to this chart, it's very, very impressive. Throughout much of Sunday, the trading activity has pushed it far above 40 cents, holding it somewhere between 51 to 56. You see these ebb and ties, and this, at least in the last 30 minutes. We're currently looking at a 30-minute chart. Let's pull out and look at a farther horizon. So you see this very stark dip right here, and then the pull up right here. Here's what you need to know, is that this chart is very good news, folks. Very good news. No one really thought among the naysayers that Doge was going to come in on a Sunday after the SNL Elon Musk performance and hold generally around a high 50-cent range. Most of the naysayers were thinking 30 cents, 40 cents. If we go back out in a longer horizon to the May 2nd, May 3rd, May 4th, many thought that it was going to look like somewhere down further on this chart. But it's not. It's really doing quite well across the board. Now, ultimately, if you have held the position, good for you. If you got out of the position, congratulations. I have one friend of mine who bought into the position at less than a cent, got out of the position yesterday, invested at 3 figures. Yes, I said 3 figures. I don't mean 3,000. I mean 3 figures. $800 cashed out yesterday at 6 figures. Very, very nice for a 5-month position to start with $800 and walk away with 6 figures. But ultimately, it depends on the person's risk aversion. And no less to say that a 55-cent position on Sunday is very good for people who got in last Saturday or Sunday. A lot of people got in last Saturday, Sunday at 25 cents, 24 cents, somewhere in the 20-cent range, and they have double their money still. And they have a relatively calm trading range in 7 days. Despite the notion that Doge has been relatively volatile in the last week, or at least in the last few months, the trading activity over the last 7 days has been relatively impressive and relatively calm. A doubling of your money in a 7-day period is not so abrupt that should be cause for alarm. Now, let me touch to the big developing news tonight, and boy, it is big across the board. No less than 3 major developing news stories across Doge that are impacting it and the industry. First, with the news that you heard earlier this morning on LALATE. Tyler and Cameron Winklevoss have announced that they are offering a 2.25% API if you bring your Doge position to Gemini. This, folks, is huge for many, many reasons. And I'm going to go over first what the announcement is and explain to you why this will bring Dogecoin much higher, because ultimately this signals extrinsic value, and second, it signals that others in the marketplace can do the same thing. This is not a barriers to market plan. So let me go over what Gemini is. Gemini is a crypto exchange, and it was founded by the twins. And now it's offering the opportunity to bring your Dogecoin position over to them. And they will offer you a 2.25% API, which is annual percentage yield, on your Dogecoin balance. Meaning, it's just like cash. You can put the Dogecoin in Gemini and get a return on your money. If you're a holder, you're going to love this news. You can have that position there and make interest on your money based upon its valuation at the time, not based upon your purchase price. We at Gemini believe that one of the most exciting things about the cryptocurrency is empowering the individual, and the Doge is a phenomenal example of that, says Noah Perlman in a statement from who's Gemini CEO in a statement this weekend. The individuals feel like Doge is money, then it is. We're here to help individuals acquire it, store it, and spend it in a safe, secure way, says Perlman. There's incredible great news where people are trying to determine where to buy their coin positions. And ultimately, Gemini Earn, that's EIRN, launched in February. But what it's doing different is you're going to hear from me right now. What it's doing is it's enabling itself to go slowly, logically, and appropriately, place after place. What's appropriately? License. Gemini is the only regulated exchange in the United States where you can trade and earn interest on Dogecoin in all 50 states. This is huge, folks. This is huge for many, many reasons. One, in the context of Gemini, it's very big because it shows that you have a more safe, secure environment for your investment to be. Second, it's huge for Doge for a series of different reasons. Let me go through this. First, you have a platform, Gemini, that's saying, we're going to allow Doge to be operated in a regulatory approved environment in all 50 states. That's bringing something that the Bank of London's, one of its regulators last week said had no extrinsic value, now having inherent extrinsic value that's approved in all 50 states. This is as extrinsic value as you can get. Extrinsic value refers to whether you can use something in an environment outside of where it is. And now that extrinsic value is not only in every 50 states, but also authorized in all 50 states. This is different than the Peter Thiel-backed crypto lender BlockFi, which offers a higher API, that's 8.6% annually, for its crypto deposits, or Binance, which is 20%. In the case, for example, of BlockFi, it is actually blocked in New York. So those other platforms are not authorized are not authorized regulatory exchanges in the United States in all 50 states. The twins did it right. They took their time and they figured out, how do we do this in a way to get authorization in all the states before putting the cart before the horse? This is also very important for the purposes of Doge because of the hold factor. If you got in at $400 positions, or $300 positions, or $200 positions, and now you're looking at a six-figure position or a five-figure position, and you really need that money, now you have an other option about not pulling out from the position: the interest. The interest is very, very good. And as Perlman from Gemini made the statement today, is that you're getting an interest rate that dwarfs what you could get from a bank on cash. He says, when you compare the rates that we're offering to what you can get in a traditional money market CD fund, it's up to 100 times more. This is huge. And this is huge for a lot of different reasons. What I've seen in the past is that when you have a platform like what Perlman's suggesting and offering, it's not particularly a barrier to market. Other people can offer it. They are offering it. They can get regulated, and they can compete by offering a higher interest rate. This is all great for Doge investors because ultimately, if Dogecoin is accepted in a way in which you can offer it and get interest on it and keep it there and hold it, it has the complete extrinsic value that naysayers were saying it didn't have up to just this week. Incredible, great news. Second breaking news tonight is that Elon Musk's SpaceX will launch Doge 1 mission to the moon in the first quarter of 2022. This is incredible, great news. So that's actually what it's called. Doge 1 mission to the moon. And it will fly a 40-kilogram cube satellite payload on the Falcon 9 rocket. His company, Geometric Energy Corporation, said that the payload, quote, will obtain lunar spatial intelligence for sensors and cameras on board with integrated communications and computer systems. But the naming of the rocket is not all that's tied into Doge. The business, SpaceX, will accept Dogecoin as a down payment to take the trip on the ship. The Falcon 9 rocket got a statement from its VP of Commercial Sales, Tom Ochenero, today that said Doge 1, quote, will demonstrate the application of cryptocurrency beyond Earth orbit and set the foundation for interplanetary commerce. Wow, I love that. He said, we're excited to launch Doge 1 to the moon. Can't make it any better than that. Musk, in turn, had said on April 1st, earlier this year, SpaceX is going to put a little Dogecoin on the literal moon. There we are. It's designed to do 10 or more flights with no refurbishment between each flight, says Musk in a statement 3 years earlier. We believe that the Falcon 9 boosters are capable of at least 100 flights or more. So that's a lot of Dogecoins and a lot of Doge flights. So expect Dogecoin 1, 10, and 9 and beyond across the board. But one of the biggest stories that I am really excited to deliver to you tonight, viewers, is this one. Minutes ago, Morgan Creek Capital Management, Mark Yusko, issued a statement during an interview that he said that Bitcoin, while has been floundering around $60,000, will go in 5 years. Are you ready to this? To $250,000. Wow. He says that it is without dispute that Bitcoin has been undervalued and that it absolutely will go to $250,000 in 5 years. He told Trading Nation on Friday, it's just about network adoption and increased usage. This is a network and networks growing in an exponential way. This is the fastest network in a history of $1 trillion of value, depending on the heels of the fangs that took it, 15 to 20 years. What people miss in this technological evolution of computing power isn't going away. It's a powerful computing network that's going to become the base layer protocol for the internet of value. Fascinating statement. And then he spoke about Dogecoin as well. So yes, there is room for a couple of protocols to survive, but there are thousands of coins, and Doge is in that category. And then came the negative statement that are really useless. They are just utility tokens that have no underlying value or use case, and they'll eventually disappear. Other people disagree. Bitcoin is up 98% in 2021, but it has gotten less than a 2% increase over the last month. Interesting statement across the board. Let's go back and look at this chart now as we look at the current activity of Dogecoin this Sunday evening. Again, this recording is made shortly after about 5:30 on the East Coast Sunday evening. But look at this chart. Very interesting. You see a resistance level. Kicking in somewhere before that last dip. And the current activity has been relatively impressive. It has sustained itself through much of Sunday, despite that initial pullback. As we pull into a tighter trading screen of the minute by minute, you see how it is really holding well at a 55-cent rate at the moment. Here's what you need to know, is that ultimately, much of the predictions of what would happen on Saturday came true, but much of the predictions of what would come on Sunday did not. Saturday, much of the predictions were going to trade down. Going to trade down. The trading would start pulling back before the appearance on SNL. And then the remainder of the statements were generally disproven, that it was going to fall in the 30s, it was going to hold in the 30s, and then continue to pull down. We have not seen that. Currently, we've seen it hold relatively well in a 50-cent trading range, 50 to 55, 56-cent trading range through much of Sunday. We have not seen it dip into the 30-cent range at all Sunday. And what's also very important to understand is that the activity, if you look at a 7-day horizon, has been impressive, has been very impressive, not too aggressive and not too extraordinary. Anything that seems extraordinary, where it's an abrupt rise and then a sudden decline, would be extraordinary. We haven't seen that. We've actually not seen that. A steady progression across the board is good, and a pullback is healthy. Sundays have been pullbacks on a lot of the coins recently. We all know that. But let me look back now at the market cap screen and see how that issue is going across the board. It's important to understand that with the market cap, ultimately, you don't want to buy based upon market cap, and you also don't want to get out of one position and into another position. One of the things you need to know is, do you buy, do you sell, or do you hold here? Here is what I would suggest. If you bought in cheap and you're comfortable with the position, there does not see any inherent reason to sell at the moment. There just seems no inherent reason to sell at the moment. The trading activity in the last 24 hours has been very impressive. There's been a lot of resistance, and the coverage that it plummeted 30% in 4 hours on a Saturday is coverage you would expect to get from broadcast news when compared to how much it ran in such a long period of time. Ultimately, every correction is healthy. And even a 30-cent, even a 30%, even a slight correction on a Saturday is effective. Second, if you've not bought it, I would still stay in position. I would still stay on the sides. I would still stay on the sides, because ultimately, if you do want to get in, I think there will be opportunities in the next 7 days. Third, if you have sold and you have that cash on hand, what do you do with that cash on hand? I would not, categorically not, take that cash on hand and 100% reinvest it in another position totally. I would keep the cash on hand, put it by the side, and then if you did cash out at a six-figure after a 3-figure investment, and want to just have a little fun, put a couple hundred into something very, very cheap. I've heard a lot of people saying they want to put some money in a safe moon. You can put a little bit of money in Safe Moon, but do not cash out a 6-figure return on Doge and put that right into Safe Moon. That would be foolish. Absolutely would be foolish. Moreover, we all know the crypto winter is coming around the corner. We all know it's coming around the corner. We all know that there are certain positions that on a horizon do us well. What you're going to see over the scope of this coverage of this channel over the next few days is that I deliver you news so that you're informed about what's happening with each respective altcoin, so you're ahead of the game and you understand why it may trade up, not particularly that day, but perhaps in the next few days because of the news. News is an indicator of what could happen on a horizon. So ultimately, naming a rocket, that's cute. It's very, very nice. But the offering the 2% return on the investment, that is a game changer. That is a massive, massive game changer. The prediction that Bitcoin would go to $250,000 in 5 years from a $50,000 valuation now, incredible great news, or $60,000, incredible great news. But what you need to do is determine where and when you manage. Finally, if you're one of the people that is sort of new to the space, whether it's crypto or whether it's any type of investing or whether it's any type of trading, you need to understand whether you're going to be entirely a buy and hold position type of person or a trading person or a mixture. People can be both. You can have a small amount that you go in and out on a regular basis with, and you can have an amount that you have for a long-term hold. Ultimately, I'm here for both of you. And with that, thank you for joining me tonight on LALATE. Tonight, you'll see a live chart, live stream on this channel. So you'll be able to jump into a live chat where we have the Dogecoin screen on camera, and you'll be able to follow it, chat with other people. I'll jump in the chat from time to time, interact with you, and we'll have our commentary on what we think is going on with that activity of Doge overnight. Thank you, and if you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also like this video. If there are other coins, altcoins that you want me to cover in the next day or two, drop in the comments. Also share your opinions of this video. Every opinion I appreciate greatly. As this channel expands into cryptocurrency coverage over the next 24 hours, stay informed, stay focused, keep on smiling, and stay with LA for more.